Today we're going to be talking about solving multi-step or two-step equations. In the past, there was one step to do. We either added opposites, or we multiplied, or we divided by a number to find that answer. Now it gets a little bit more complicated, where we're going to have to do two steps in order to solve it. So at the top of your notes, it still says, the goal still remains the same, to get the variable by itself. Get everything away from that variable. And I have written step 1 and step 2. We're going to come back to that and fill that in later. We're going to jump right into it and look at one of our first problems. 5x plus 12 equals negative 13. Now you've seen this before, but now there's two things going on instead of just one. Now the first thing we want to think about is, what is the 12 doing to the x's? We want to look at that first. Because it's being added, just like before, we want to add the opposite. So we're going to add negative 12 to both sides. Now 12 minus 12, we do get 0 that cancels out. We are now left with just 5x on the left. Negative 13 and negative 12 is negative 25. Now this is down to our one-step problem that we've had. Now we can take and look 5 times x. We want to divide by 5 to both sides. And we get the answer of x equaling negative 5. Now this is where I'm going to add something in. We are going to check our solution. We're going to take this number and plug it in here for x to see if it works. So 5 times negative 5 plus 12. Negative 25 plus 12. And that does equal negative 13. This checks out with this answer. I know that answer is correct. Now I look at number 2. Again, I'm going to draw my line down the middle. I always look to see which side the variable is on. And this time it's on the right. So do I have anything being added or subtracted to where my variable is? Yes, I have this minus 3. Now remember, the opposite of a minus 3 is a plus 3 to both sides. Now copy down what we didn't do, the m over 7. We can go 6 plus 3 equals 9. And now we look, what's the 7 doing to the m? It's dividing. The inverse of dividing is multiplied by 7. And we get 63 equaling m. And we're going to go back and plug this back in. So we have 6 equals, I'm going to put the 63 in for the m. (63) divided by 7 is 9, and 9 minus 3 does equal 6. I go back here, and it does work. So I can prove that my answer is correct. We're going to look at number 3 next. So number 3 is 2x minus 9 equals 15. Now again, I can identify, draw the line down the middle of the equal sign. The variable is on the left-hand side. I want to get, do we have anything being added or subtracted? We do, so we want to add the opposite. Carry down the 2x. 15 plus 9 is 24. One step to do, we want to divide by 2. And the answer is 12. Plug the 12 back in for the x. 2 times 12 is 24. 24 minus 9 is 15. And again, that one checks out. I'm going to leave number 4 up to you. Number 5. 3 over 2x minus 7 equals 2. There's a fraction involved here. Treat it the same way. Don't let the fraction put any more stress on it. Do we have anything being added or subtracted to our variable? Yes. Undo that subtraction. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. Carry down to 3/2 x. And that equals 9. Now because this is a fraction here, remember we want to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3 over 2 is 2 over 3. We want to do that to both sides. Two over 3. Remember, that's 9 over 1. The reciprocals cancel out. So we're left with x. Now, 9 over 1 times 2 over 3, I can reduce the 3 into 9. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. I now have 3 times 2, and I get my answer of 6. Going back to plug this back in. 3 over 2 times 6 over 1 minus 7 equals 2. Again, the 2 and 6 reduces to 1 and 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 minus 7 does equal 2. And that does work. Number 6. Now this is a little bit different. It might look a little weird. 5 minus z equals -8. Now here, the number is in front of the z. There is subtraction there, but the subtraction belongs to z. It does not belong to 5. So we want to add the opposite. The opposite of 5 is -5. Now, when this cancels, if you look, I'm left with a -z. And -8 minus 5 is -13. Now, I didn't solve this yet. This is a -1z. We want to get this just down to a positive z. So in this case, you can divide by that number. Remember that number is -1. When we divide by -1 to both sides, we end up with z equaling 13. We plug 13 back in for z. And we see that -8 does equal 8. And I know I'm done. Now coming back to this. Hopefully, when we're looking at these steps, you kind of start seeing a pattern. Whenever possible, our first step in problems like this is going to be add opposites. Okay? We want to get the x's on one side, the numbers on the other side. The second step, and usually the last step, is either dividing or multiplying by the reciprocal. So again, usually we're going to be adding opposites first, and then dividing or multiplying by the reciprocal. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you next time.